I never thought I'd see her again, especially not with him. The words slam into my chest like a physical blow, a pulse of disbelief that leaves my stomach hollow. My heart thrums against my ribs, a frantic, uneven beat that I can't quiet. She's standing there in the glittering ballroom, under the harsh golden glow of chandeliers, and my mind refuses to accept the scene before me. Her hair is a waterfall of midnight silk, her dress hugging curves I've memorized in nightmares and daydreams alike. And beside her, him, the one man I despise more than anything else in this world. The music pulses around us, a throbbing heartbeat that I can almost feel in my bones. People laugh, swirl, toast glasses, completely oblivious to the storm in my chest. My hand tightens around my drink, knuckles whitening. I taste the bitterness of humiliation mingled with the champagne, sharp and nauseating. She looks radiant, untouchable, perfect, and yet there's an edge I don't recognize. Confidence, a subtle defiance in the tilt of her chin. She's chosen to walk back into my life like a dagger, and she's smiling just slightly, like she knows exactly what she's doing. I can't breathe properly. My pulse is loud in my ears as I watch them converse. The brush of his fingers against hers fleeting yet infuriating. My stomach twists with a mixture of jealousy, longing, and something darker. An irrational fear that maybe I've lost her for good. I can't step forward, can't call her name, can't even blink without feeling the weight of every second she's near him. I'm anchored by the same bar I always come back to, my eyes tracking every movement, every laugh, every subtle tilt of her head. She's mine, in the way that words never captured, in the way that time and memory can't erase. And yet she's here, with him. A glass shatters somewhere across the room, a sharp, shocking sound that makes everyone jump, but I barely notice. My focus is fixed. She's laughing now, the sound curling around him, intimate and infuriating. I taste bitterness again, a metallic tang in my mouth. Then she looks up, right at me. My stomach lurches. For a fraction of a second, the room stops, the music, the laughter, the chatter, all gone. And in her gaze, I see it. A challenge, a promise, a reckoning, and suddenly I know this night will change everything. The music from the ballroom becomes a distant pulse, almost a heartbeat beneath my own. I follow her through the crowd, careful not to be noticed, not yet. Her dress shimmers under the golden lights, each movement catching them in a way that feels deliberately provocative, though she doesn't even glance my way. And yet, every step she takes toward the balcony feels like a challenge, a dare I can't refuse. He walks beside her, confident, arrogant, everything I loathe in a human form, and I hate him more than ever. My fingers curl around the stem of my glass until the crystal bites into my palm. I taste the bitterness not just of the champagne, but of humiliation, longing, and fury all tangled together. She turns her head slightly, just a flicker of her gaze toward me. My stomach twists. I feel it like fire curling around my ribs. That small acknowledgement is enough to make me want to cross the room, to snatch her into my arms, to demand why she would return with him, why she would flaunt him so deliberately. I can't move. Pride, fear, disbelief, they chain me in place. I let the space burn between us, every heartbeat stretching the tension tighter. Finally, she reaches the balcony and I follow at a distance, my breath catching with anticipation and dread. The door slides open, revealing the cool night air, crisp and fragrant with jasmine. The chaos of the ballroom is muffled now, replaced with the whisper of the breeze and the distant hum of city lights. It feels like a secret world, a place just for her, and maybe for me if I dare. She leans against the railing, shoulders relaxed but eyes sharp, aware. The moonlight casts her features in a silver glow, delicate and lethal all at once. I take a step closer and the scent of her, warm skin, faint perfume, something uniquely hers, wraps around me. My chest tightens and I swallow hard. "You didn't think you'd see me tonight," she says, voice low and teasing, curling around me like smoke, soft yet impossible to ignore. I didn't expect. My words falter, useless against the gravity of her presence. She smiles, just the hint of it, and it cuts through me. I came back. And I brought him, she says, gesturing with the smallest turn of her head, a deliberate and excruciating motion that makes the pit of my stomach twist. The words are like ice sliding down my spine. My fists clench at my sides, but I refuse to give in to the urge to storm forward. She's safe, dangerously, maddeningly safe from my reach. Yet the ache of jealousy curls through me with every beat of her pulse I can sense from here. Why? I ask, my voice lower than I intended, almost a whisper. A tremor betraying the control I've fought to maintain. Her gaze flickers to the man beside her, a flicker of vulnerability I hadn't expected. Because I had to, she says. Her voice softens just slightly. Because I needed to see if you'd notice, if you'd care. I feel the heat rise to my cheeks, anger and longing, and something darker tangling in my chest. Her words are a challenge and a plea all at once, and I'm trapped somewhere in the middle. Desire coils tight around my ribs, dangerous and insistent. I want to reach for her. I want to close the space between us and never let go. But something, pride, fear, perhaps a lingering pain I've tried to bury, keeps me rooted to the spot. I watch her hand brush the railing, the faintest flicker of a touch that sends sparks crawling along my skin. She steps closer, ever so slightly, just enough to tease, to pull me into a space I shouldn't enter. Her lips part, as if to say something, but the intrusion comes before the words. His voice, sharp and commanding, cuts across the balcony like a blade. She turns, her glance toward me lingering just long enough to promise a reckoning. Then she's gone, swallowed back into the crowd. The moment hangs in the air, heavy with unspoken words and near confessions. I swallow the growl rising in my throat and taste the bitterness again, the metallic tang of jealousy and desire mixing on my tongue. I stand there for long seconds after she disappears, the night air cool against my flushed skin. The balcony feels impossibly large, the city lights below flickering like distant promises I can't reach. But I know this, the game has begun. The tension is set, and no matter how careful I am, no matter how much I try to walk away, I'm already in too deep. I close my eyes, inhale the lingering scent of her presence, and vow silently, I will not lose her. The ballroom has emptied, leaving echoes of laughter and clinking glasses bouncing off the marble walls. Shadows stretch long across the polished floor, and the air feels thick with anticipation, as though the world itself is holding its breath for us. I find her near the gallery, sitting on the edge of a low fountain. Moonlight catches her hair, turning it into a river of silver, and her eyes, those impossible eyes, catch mine as soon as I step into the soft glow. My chest tightens and I feel it again, that coil of desire and fear and longing that refuses to unwind. I sit beside her, careful to leave space, though every instinct urges me closer. She leans slightly toward me, the warmth of her body radiating in a way that makes my fingers ache to brush against her skin. The night is silent except for the faint trickle of water and the distant hum of the city. But it's deafening in its intimacy. I can't stop thinking about you, I confess, voice low, raw, almost trembling. The words taste like fire in my mouth. Her gaze locks onto mine, wide, unguarded. A shiver runs through me at the intensity, the vulnerability she shows so freely. Then why did you let me go? She murmurs, tracing a finger along the rim of the fountain. The gesture is delicate, intimate, teasing, but not touching me. Not yet, I falter, suddenly exposed. I didn't know how to fight for you. Her lips twitch into a faint, almost imperceptible smile. You never had to fight, she whispers. I was waiting. I feel heat pool in my stomach. Every nerve ending is alive with tension. My hand hovers near hers, a dangerous, trembling distance away. The brush of my fingertips against her skin sends electricity crawling up my arm, igniting a fire I can no longer contain. Her breath mingles with mine, a soft, tempting rhythm. She leans closer, just enough that the space between us disappears, but not enough to close the distance completely. My heart hammers in my chest as the scent of her, warm skin, faint perfume, a trace of jasmine, envelops me. Do you feel it too? I ask, my voice barely audible. Every word feels like a confession, a surrender. She swallows, her eyes never leaving mine. I've felt it the moment you walked back into my life, she admits. The words are a whisper, fragile, but they hit harder than anything else ever could. The pull between us becomes unbearable. I inch closer, fingertips grazing hers. She doesn't move away. Her hand responds, a feather-light pressure that makes my pulse spike. The world narrows, collapsing to this one perfect, suspended moment. Our faces are inches apart. The temptation to close the distance, to taste the desire that's been building for weeks is almost unbearable. I feel her breath against my lips, warm, teasing, intoxicating. I tilt my head slightly, moving just enough to suggest inevitability, and for a fleeting heartbeat, everything, the past, the pain, the longing, seems to vanish. And then, footsteps. Sharp, sudden, intrusive. Reality crashes back in. My chest tightens. I jerk back, heart racing. She looks at me, eyes wide, a silent plea in the unspoken pause. We sit there, close but impossibly far, the air between us charged with what could have been, what might still be. My hand lingers near hers, a promise unspoken, a confession incomplete. I lean back slightly, forcing control, though every fiber of me aches to reach for her again. This can't happen, not now, I whisper, though my voice betrays me. Her lips part, ready to argue, to beg, to confess something more. But the footsteps grow closer, echoing down the hallway. The moment shatters like glass. She pulls back, leaving just enough space for longing, for tension, for desire to remain suspended in the night. I leave her there, the moonlight casting long shadows over her still form, a single thought burning in my mind. This is far from over. The fire has been lit. And nothing, not time, not fear, not him. The days blur into nights, each encounter leaving my heart in a perpetual state of unrest. Every glance she throws my way, every brush of her fingers, every half-smile tightens the coil of tension that refuses to release. I can't focus, can't think, can't breathe properly without her shadow touching the edges of my mind. Tonight I find her waiting in the quiet of the empty gallery. The soft light from the high windows casts her in a pale, almost ethereal glow. Her hair falls loose, cascading over her shoulders, a dark river that calls to me, beckoning me closer. The space between us is charged, humming with everything we haven't said, everything we've denied. I can't do this anymore, I admit. The words tasting of desperation and longing. My chest is tight, my pulse deafening. My voice trembles despite my attempt at control. She steps closer, the faintest movement, and suddenly the heat of her body radiates against mine. Her hands hover near my chest, a teasing, dangerous proximity. Then don't, she breathes, her lips just shy of mine. Her words are a challenge, a temptation, a plea all at once. The dam inside me breaks. I close the distance, pressing my lips to hers in a kiss that tastes of longing, regret, and years of desire I've tried to bury. She melts into me, hands threading into my hair, tugging me closer as though she's been waiting for this exact moment for a lifetime. The world outside ceases to exist. Every thought, every fear, every ounce of pride evaporates. All that remains is her warmth, her scent, her pulse against mine. I feel her shiver under my touch, a small sound escaping her lips that ignites a fire in my chest, and yet, even as passion burns between us, I sense the vulnerability, the unspoken fears and insecurities etched into every line of her body, every flicker of her eyes. I soften, brushing my thumb across her cheek, memorizing the curve of her lips, the way her lashes flutter against her skin. I've wanted this for so long, I whisper, voice hoarse, lips brushing her temple. I've needed you more than I can ever say. Her response is immediate, raw, a confession in itself. And I've waited. I've waited for you to see me, to want me, to fight for me. She leans into my touch, letting me cradle her face in my hands, trusting me in a way that leaves my chest aching. The intensity of the moment is overwhelming. Every barrier falls away. Fear, pride, past wounds. We are bare, not just physically but emotionally. I feel her surrender and match it with my own. A perfect storm of courage, desire, and vulnerability. I pull back slightly, searching her eyes, reading every flicker of hesitation, every glimmer of trust. We can't stay here, I murmur, though my hands linger, reluctant to let go. Not yet. Not like this. Her lips twitch into a small, knowing smile, but her eyes betray the longing, the ache, the truth we both feel. Then let's not run from it, she says softly, brushing her fingers along my jawline, leaving a trail of heat. The gallery feels suspended in time, the air thick with our unspoken promises. I know the storm has only just begun, that every moment forward will demand courage, trust, and surrender. But in this instant, with her in my arms, I understand one immutable truth: I cannot and will not let her slip away again. A knock echoes from the door, a reminder of reality, of the world outside this fragile bubble. I pull back slightly, holding her close, the tension and desire coiling in the space between us. The breaking point has come. The walls are down, and nothing will ever. The night is electric, charged with everything we've held back, everything we've denied, and everything we've risked. I find her again. This time in the quiet of the rooftop terrace, the city light sprawled beneath us like a field of molten stars. The wind whips around us, tugging at her hair, brushing our skin, carrying the faint scent of jasmine and the night itself. She looks at me, and I see it all: the longing, the fear, the desire that neither of us can hide anymore. I step closer, heart hammering, every inch a deliberate confession of everything I feel. I came back for you, she says, voice low, trembling, fierce. Not for him, not for anyone else. Only you. The words hit me like a tidal wave. I taste them, let them sink into every fiber of my being. The man I hated, the one who loomed over me in shadows of jealousy and fury, is finally irrelevant. All that matters is her here in front of me, with her eyes locked on mine, revealing the truth we've both been starving to admit. I've waited for this, I whisper, my hand brushing a strand of hair from her face. Waited for you to come back, for us to find this. Her lips part, trembling with anticipation, with vulnerability, with the promise of surrender. I close the distance, pressing my mouth to hers in a kiss that is fierce and tender all at once. The world disappears. The wind, the city, the past, the pain, all gone. There is only us. Two hearts colliding, two souls reclaiming what was always theirs. She melts against me, hands tracing the contours of my back, and I pull her closer, as if closing the space between us can erase all the months we've been apart. Desire, longing, love, and trust intertwine until it's impossible to separate them. I love you, I confess into her hair, my voice breaking. I've never stopped, and I never will. Her breath hitches. I love you too. I've always loved you. The words are raw. A confession, a promise, a surrender, all at once. The intensity between us is almost unbearable. Every touch, every sigh, every heartbeat is magnified, as though the universe has condensed to the space of our bodies and our desire. There is dominance and surrender, courage and vulnerability, fear and devotion, all spiraling into one perfect, overwhelming moment. But then she pulls back slightly, her forehead resting against mine, eyes glistening. There's something you need to know, she whispers. My pulse tightens, my chest constricting, fear creeping in. I brought him here tonight, she admits, voice trembling. Not to hurt you, but to see if you would fight for me, if you'd claim me when it mattered. I inhale sharply, the sting of betrayal softened by relief. Her eyes search mine, pleading for understanding. I close the distance again, pressing my lips to hers. You didn't need him, I murmur. You never did. I've always been yours, even when you weren't here. A smile breaks across her face, radiant and unguarded. Then stay with me. Stay forever, and I do. I pull her into my arms, holding her as if the world could crumble around us and it wouldn't matter. The tension, the heartbreak, the longing, all of it dissolves into trust, into love, into a fire that burns hotter and steadier than anything I've ever known. The city lights below shimmer like witnesses to our triumph, our reconciliation, our unshakable bond. No one, not him, not anyone, can touch what we've reclaimed. She is mine, fully and completely, and I am hers. We linger there, wrapped in each other, the wind carrying our whispered confessions into the night, every barrier broken, every secret revealed, every desire fulfilled, and for the first time in what feels like forever, I can breathe. The night belongs to us. The future belongs to us, and the love, unrelenting, unshakable,